Hello, folks. This is Raj Sastri from Raj Option Trading. Today, I want to talk about GreenBox POS. It's a it's in the technology area, software infrastructure, and they are really good in blockchain payment solutions for the businesses. So with that, today is April 14th, 2021, and if you look at the market research here, blockchain market size is expected to grow at a compounded annual rate of 67.3%. So this is one of the highest the compound annual growth that I have seen. So which is really promising here, and this company really wants to lead in this area in the blockchain payment solutions. And with that, let's deep dive a little more. In the crypto area, there are some problems, mainly around the architectures. It's limited to either volatile or stable coin, and the deployments are either centralized or decentralized. And they got also some problems around reserving, and they also have problems with settlement times, which are really longer, 1 to 4 days in case of Ethereum, and they got some lack of liquidity and volatility. So this company is trying to address some of these problems, and they're coming up with the centralized node. They're coming up with the instant settlements, instant liquidity, smart contract-based architecture, reservable. You can even reserve it, and you can leverage either Visa cards, Apple Pay, Google Wallet, any to any type device. So with that, I think this company is really trying hard to make sure these blockchain-based payment solutions are mainstream. And with that, if you look at the stock itself, they are a software developer and they are into blockchain-based payment solutions, and they want to provide digitally encrypted keys, very secure, and they also want to provide data security, privacy, enhanced identity theft protection. And with the stock price is very low, it's $13.67, and they came down from $20 in the recent past. CEO is Freddie Nissan, and the stock, the market cap is around $563 million. So with that, if you look at the stock chart here, since last April, May, the stock has moved up so much like a rocket ship, and they have some revenue here, $8.53 million, and low debt, and operating cash flow and levered free cash flow both are negative at this point. And the CEO here, Freddie Nissan, looks like he has got a lot of experience in software area. He founded this company called Quick Citizen, and they have done a lot of good things with the onboarding new clients, and also onboarding a lot of folks within very short time. And he also launched a company called Bravo Point of Sales, and this company helped with the lot of things around the retail companies. Overall, I think this CEO has got a lot of good technical savvy experience, which is really helping him to lead this company with blockchain. And from a headline news perspective, Greenbox is selecting Signature Bank. As you know, most of these fintech companies are partnering with the banks because they do need a stable bank to help with the payment processing and to take some credit risk and liability. And Greenbox also announced final terms of Charge Savvy acquisition that will make their payment volume to grow nicely. So with that, let's jump into this company a little more. From a quick statistic perspective, a market cap, I think it dropped further around 560 or so million. Their price to sales ratio is a little bit high, it's 72.76. And they're down 34% from 52-week high, and impressive 6,409% from 52-week low. They got very low float short, which is good, and RSI is pointing towards oversold type situation. Not quite there yet, but it's going towards oversold situation here. And on a weekly basis, they lost 29% with the recent decline. and I think they've done very nicely for the month, for the quarter, half year, and yearly. And if you look at the earnings per share, they're still losing money. They're not earning, any profit yet. And their sales, I think it's a little bit declined in 2020, not too much, not too bad. And the shares outstanding, I think it's a little bit low at this point, which is good. As supply is low, I think it can move the stock price more. So with that, if you look at the fundamental itself, current stock price is around $13, market cap is 563, and if you look at the market cap of this company, it's really up and down from 2018. From September, I think they were 88 million. They went down all the way to 7 million during the COVID days in March 2020, and from there onward, they have not looked back. Now, from 7 million in March, now they're into 563 million now. That's the exponential growth. And if you look at the sales, before that, if you look at the stock price, they were 42 cents back in back in June 2020, and now they are $13. So that's the astronomical increase in the stock price. And from a sales perspective, I think they are positive sales, $3 million. But if you look at the quarter over quarter change, that's a negative number here. Nothing to brag about. I think their sales growth is negative, so that's not great. From an earnings per share perspective, it's negative, and they do have some debt which is very low. Free cash is negative, operating cash flow is negative. They got a good gross margin, but not comparable to SaaS companies. Typically, SaaS companies have got 85, 95% gross margin, but this is not too bad, 55%. Price to sales ratio is 22 as of 12/31. Now it's even more expensive. So with that, from a fundamental perspective, I would not call this a fundamentally sound company. But if you want to speculate on blockchain technologies and blockchain payment, this could be a stock that you can nibble a little bit. We can talk through a little more as we go forward. From a earnings perspective, they did their full year-end report, and looks like their revenue decreased a little bit, 14%, and their gross profit increased, and looks like they had some operations type charges with this tech savvy exiting GreenBox ecosystem. Um, Overall, there is nothing to rave about here. A little bit revenue decrease and operating type expenses. So with that, let's jump into a little more around the stock performance here. As you see here from a yearly basis, 2015, 2016 they have not done much. It's negative. But 27, 2018 they've done nicely, 92%, 943%. 2019 was a little relatively bad year, 69% down. But 2020 was a huge positive year, 13,000% increase in stock price. And 2021 so far is also very nice, 1,154% increase. And this is where these are it's very low dollar stock right now. It's around $13. If you want to speculate a little bit, it may be okay to buy a little bit, but probably not too much. And if you look at monthly stock performance here, it's a more red than green. But key point is really whenever they dropped heavily, like here, as you can see here, they always came back, dropped, came back, dropped, came back. So, even though there are more reds, looks like they have rebounded more than they dropped in the share price. And if you look at the weekly performance, same story. This stock will always give you a time to buy. They will pull back so often that could be a good opportunity to buy. And then if you look at the daily performance here, I think last 2 days stock has kind of sold off pretty nicely, and before that it sold off nicely. So this is where whenever it sells off like this, it may be okay to buy a little bit, and then wait for more pullback, add a little more, and then hang on to it for a while. You can get a nice return like you have seen in the past. So with that, if you look at the performance matrix here, the way to read this chart is we got 2021, 2020, all the years on the top, and we got months here, December, November, all the months here in the row. And we got yearly performance, yearly high, yearly low. As you can see here in 2021, stock has done very nicely, especially in February and March, stock has gained so much. And 2020, it gained 13,000%. 2019, negative 69%. In a nutshell, stock always drops, but it always comes back. So when it drops like this in April, it's hardly 2%, but you could nibble a little bit, or then you can wait for some more pullback and add to your position. I would not buy too much at once because this stock is really very volatile. So you should slowly accumulate as it drops. From a technical perspective, as you can see here, stock has shot up so nicely here, gap up as you can see, but now it's kind of trying to come down. So it came down from a 9-day moving average. Even it came down from 25-day moving average. You have to watch out. There is a chance that this might even come further down. In all likelihood, it can even touch 50-day or even come back down from 50-day. That's why I would not recommend buying this stock, in a huge quantity. I would wait for a pull back a little bit. It's okay to buy a little bit, maybe buy some now, see if it touches, 50-day moving average. If it does, you can buy some more. So that way you kind of, accumulate it slowly, but no hurry. And from a RSI perspective, as you can see here, it's sold off a little bit, but not nowhere near completely getting sold off. So if you see the level here, it reached 40 or 30 type level. Right now it's at 55. So there is some more room to for this stock to drop. And from a DMI perspective, as you can see here, blue line is on top here, which means it's still a bullish symbol, and red line is below a blue line. And from a check-in money, volume average perspective, I think money is flowing into the stock. Right now, it's money is flowing out, but overall, you can see a little bit flattish type sign here. But now money is flowing out a little bit. From a check-in money flow perspective, as you can see, our money is flowing out. Smart money is flowing out right now. Probably, folks are looking for a right entry point. Given the stock has risen so exponentially in the last couple months. So if you look at a little bit shorter term 10-day, 30-minute chart here, I think stock has fallen down, very badly here. It's below 9-day moving average. So 9-period moving average. I think it can go above 9-period moving average. There's a good chance, or it can drop a little more and then pick up a little more. And in the shorter term, chart, right now it's bearish. As you can see here, the red line is above blue line. That's a bearish indicator. And volume average in the shorter term is really stable right now. That means people are buying the stock. And check-in money flow is also showing some signs of improvements here. So that's why it may be okay to buy a little bit here and then see if the stock drops more, and then you can add more. So with that, what should you do now? Green drop has dropped a little bit in price. Should we buy more? So if you look at what company has done, they have achieved very good record processing volume, which is good, which is 254% growth. And they also joined Visa's FinTech Fast Track program. That will give them a little more scale. And they announced planned acquisition of Charge Savvy. It's again a specialty retail payment processing company that should add more processing volume to this company. And stock has a high valuation of 72.76, and stock had a huge run in February and March, and even last year it had a huge run. So I would initiate a small position at this point and wait for a pullback to buy more, because really, it's a very speculative play. Blockchain is the way of the future, fintech is the way to go. But this stock has risen so much. I think we should buy a little bit, wait for it to cool off, then add to the position. So with that, thank you very much. Happy investing.